When Daniel bought the antique mirror, the shopkeeper refused to look at him. "Once it's in your house," the old man whispered, "don't look into it after midnight." Daniel laughed. The mirror was tall, cracked at the edges, its glass dark like deep water. He placed it in his bedroom, facing his bed. The first night was normal. The second night, he woke at 12:03 a.m. The mirror was breathing. Daniel sat up, his heart pounding. The glass moved slightly, as if something behind it was pressing forward. He told himself it was his imagination. At exactly 12:30 a.m., his reflection blinked. Daniel hadn't. He raised his hand slowly. The reflection raised its hand too, but a second late. Daniel stepped back. The reflection smiled. Daniel did not. A soft knocking sound came from inside the mirror. Tap, tap, tap. A voice whispered from the glass, low and wet. "Do you remember what you did?" Daniel covered his ears, but the voice continued, crawling into his head. The mirror's surface darkened, and the reflection's eyes turned black. When the knocking stopped, the reflection leaned closer to the glass and mouthed one final sentence. "I'm almost ready." Daniel did not sleep that night. In the morning, he tried to move the mirror. It was heavier than before, as if it had been filled from the inside. When he finally dragged it away from the wall, he saw handprints on the glass, pressed from within. That night, the whispers returned earlier. 11:47 p.m. Daniel avoided looking at the mirror, but he could feel its presence, like eyes burning into his back. The room grew cold, and the smell of rust filled the air. Then he heard footsteps. They came from the mirror. Slow, bare, wet. The reflection stepped forward, pressing its face against the glass. Its mouth opened wider than humanly possible. "You left me there," it said. The glass began to crack. Daniel remembered the accident, the hit and run, the man who died staring into his headlights. The mirror shattered, and something stepped out. The police found Daniel's apartment empty. The mirror stood intact against the wall. Neighbors later claimed they saw Daniel inside the mirror, pounding silently, his mouth open in a frozen scream. The antique shop gained a new mirror that week. The shopkeeper smiled. "Perfect condition," he whispered. A new buyer took the mirror home. At 12:03 a.m., the glass began to breathe. At 1:17 a.m., Noah's phone vibrated. A voice note. The screen showed the sender as his own name. Noah frowned. He lived alone. His phone lay on the table, untouched. Still, the message timer moved, 6 seconds long. He pressed play. At first, there was only breathing. Slow, uneven. Then a voice whispered, "Noah, don't turn around." His stomach tightened. The voice was his. Same tone. Same nervous pause between words. Noah laughed nervously and checked the sent messages. There was nothing. No record. No outgoing call. The voice note disappeared seconds later, as if it had never existed. He tried to sleep. At 2:02 a.m., another vibration. Another voice note. From himself. This one was longer. "I can hear it now," the voice said, shaking. "It's standing behind you. If you're listening to this, it's already too late." The bedroom lights flickered. Noah slowly sat up. His room felt smaller, tighter. The air smelled damp, like an old basement. He could hear something behind him, soft scraping, like nails brushing against the wall. He did not turn around. The phone vibrated again. A third message began recording on its own. Noah watched in horror as his phone screen showed recording. His mouth was closed. He wasn't speaking, yet his voice filled the room. "It's getting closer," the voice whispered from the speaker. "I shouldn't have listened to it." Noah grabbed the phone and threw it across the room. The recording stopped instantly. Silence followed, thick and heavy. Then he heard it, a sound like someone standing up behind him. Slow breathing brushed the back of his neck. The room grew cold, so cold that his breath turned white. Noah squeezed his eyes shut. A vibration echoed from the floor. The phone turned on by itself. New voice note. "Sender, Noah." This one wasn't whispered. It was screaming. "Run." The bedroom door slammed shut. The mirror on the wall cracked down the middle. In the reflection, Noah saw himself still sitting on the bed, but something else stood behind him. Tall, too thin, its mouth stretched open, jaw hanging wrong, as if pulled apart. Its face flickered like a broken video. Noah spun around. There was nothing there. When he turned back to the mirror, the reflection was smiling. He wasn't. The phone vibrated one last time. Final message received. The next morning, Noah woke up on the floor. Sunlight poured through the window. His phone lay beside him, perfectly normal. No voice notes. No recordings. No call history. Except for one thing. His phone showed a missing minute. Between 2:16 a.m. and 2:17 a.m., all data was corrupted. Noah felt sick. His throat burned, as if he had been screaming for a long time. When he opened his gallery, he froze. There was a video, recorded at 2:16 a.m. The video showed Noah sitting on his bed, staring at the camera. He wasn't blinking. Behind him, the thing slowly leaned into frame. The creature placed its mouth next to Noah's ear and spoke. The video ended before the sound played. Noah deleted the file instantly. That evening, his phone buzzed again. Unknown contact. Voice note. Noah didn't want to listen, but his finger pressed play on its own. The sound that came out wasn't a voice. It was breathing. Right next to him. The room darkened. The phone screen reflected his face, and something else, standing too close. A whisper crawled from the speaker. "This is the minute you forgot." The lights went out. Neighbors later reported hearing a man screaming at exactly 2:17 a.m. When police arrived, Noah's apartment was empty. His phone lay on the bed. A new voice note was being sent. Sender, Noah. Recipient, someone else. The elevator in Building 19 was old, slow, and avoided by everyone after midnight. Ethan learned this on his first night. He had just moved in, exhausted, boxes still unopened. At 12:41 a.m., he realized he'd left his phone charger in the car. The stairs felt endless, so he pressed the elevator button. It arrived instantly. That should have been the first warning. Inside, the lights flickered. The buttons were scratched, except for one, B4. Ethan lived on the 6th floor. The building officially had only 2 basements. The doors closed on their own. The elevator didn't move up. It went down. B1. B2. Ethan pressed 6 repeatedly. Nothing happened. At B3, the lights dimmed. The air turned cold, carrying a faint smell of dirt and metal. Ethan's reflection in the mirror looked wrong. His eyes seemed darker, hollow. The elevator stopped at B4. The doors opened slowly. There was no basement. Only a long hallway stretching into darkness, with flickering lights and doors lining both sides. Each door had a number and a name. Ethan saw his own name halfway down the hall. The doors slammed shut. The elevator began to move again. The elevator went up fast, too fast. Ethan's ears popped as floors flashed past the screen. 1, 2, 7, 12. The building had only 10 floors. The elevator stopped abruptly. The doors opened to another hallway, identical to the first. More doors. More names. Ethan stepped out without realizing it. The elevator doors closed behind him. The hallway lights buzzed overhead. Ethan walked past doors labeled with unfamiliar names. Some doors shook softly, as if something inside was moving. He stopped at one door. The nameplate read, Ethan Cole. His heart pounded. He reached out, his hand shaking, and touched the handle. The door was warm. From inside, he heard breathing. His breathing. A voice whispered through the door. "You took the elevator, didn't you?" Ethan stepped back. The lights flickered violently. Several doors began to bang at once, fists slamming from the inside. Names peeled off the doors and fell to the floor like dead skin. The hallway speaker crackled. "Floors must be balanced," a calm voice said. "One in, one out." At the end of the hall, the elevator doors opened again. Waiting, Ethan ran. He sprinted toward the elevator, ignoring the doors shaking violently around him. Hands pushed through cracks, fingers bending the wrong way. As he reached the elevator, a door behind him burst open. Something stepped out wearing his face. Its movements were stiff, delayed, like a bad reflection. Its mouth stretched into a smile that showed too many teeth. "You don't belong up there anymore," it said in Ethan's voice. The creature grabbed Ethan's arm. Its touch was freezing, burning at the same time. Memories flooded Ethan's mind. Every time he'd taken shortcuts, ignored warnings, chosen convenience over caution. The elevator chimed. The doors began to close. Ethan screamed and shoved the creature forward. It stumbled, surprised, and fell into the elevator just as the doors slammed shut. The elevator moved up. The hallway went silent. Ethan collapsed to the floor, gasping. After a moment, a new door appeared on the wall beside him. A metal plate slid into place. It read, "Ethan Cole." The hallway lights turned off. The next morning, the security guard saw Ethan walk out of the elevator. He looked pale, eyes empty, movements slightly delayed. "Rough night?" the guard asked. Ethan smiled. "A little too wide." That night, at 12:41 a.m., a new tenant pressed the elevator button. It arrived instantly. Inside, a new button had been added. B5. Someone was missing. The elevator was ready.